Hello, welcome to KALYAN'S world. This is part 1 of Advanced English. This is a program meant to improve your English. Here the focus is on writing, how to improve your writing, English writing. Most of us studied English as a second language, and so we are not familiar with the term register. But we still know that there is difference between formal writing and informal writing. If you're writing to the manager of a company or a director, we use formal language. And if you are writing to a close friend or one of the family members, then you write informal language. But what exactly is the difference between formal and informal? How to change formal to informal? What are the do's and don'ts in formal and what are the do's and don'ts in informal? We should learn them thoroughly. Otherwise, we may make register errors. And I have another question to you now. Other than formal and informal, can you think of another register? My question is there any other register other than formal and informal? Pause the video and think for a while. Yes, there is. It's called semi-formal register. I'll explain it to you. When you write a business letter or official letter, when it comes to letter writing, you use formal language. When you write to your close friend or family, you use informal language. But if you write a letter to your uncle, your paternal uncle maybe, your father's elder brother, you cannot write it in the formal register as you write to the manager of a company. You cannot write it in the informal register as you write to a close friend. So you have to go in between, something in between informal and formal. That is called semi-formal register. So in English, there are three types of registers: formal, informal, and semi-formal. On this slide, you see three salutations: dear father, dear mother, dear cousin. This is about identifying the register. Imagine you are asked to write a letter to your father, or you are asked to write a letter to your mother, or you may be asked to write a letter to your cousin. Definitely, it's informal letter. If you start with dear father, it's wrong. This register error. If you start the letter to your mother with dear mother, in good English, in standard English, it's wrong. It's an error. It's a register error. If you write a letter to your cousin starting with dear cousin, then again it's wrong. The salutation is wrong. So think what is wrong here. In dear father when you write to your father, or dear mother when you write to your mother, what is wrong? If you can't find the answer, I'll help you. If you're writing a letter to your father, you never call your father just father. So it should be the way you call him. If you call him dad, you should begin the letter with dear dad. And you never call your mother mother. So you may call mom or mom. So what do you call her? Dear mom. And if you're writing a letter to your cousin, it should be dear plus first name, not cousin. We are discussing informal letters. The previous slide you saw what is wrong in the salutation dear father or dear mother or dear cousin. Imagine you want to write to your cousin Susan. If you start dear cousin, it's wrong. It's register error. Instead, you have to start with dear Susan. Now on this slide, you see just two sentences. Dear friend, I received your letter. I'm glad to know that you're coming next month. You're writing to a friend, and your friend is coming next month. So you're writing a reply. I received your letter. I'm glad to know that you're coming next month. Just try to find out the total number of errors. I received your letter. Grammatically, it's perfect. I'm glad to know that you're coming next month. Again, grammatically, there's no error. But your challenge is to find out the total number of errors. That means there can be more than one error. Just try to find out the errors here. When you see this slide, I can imagine what your first response would be. You would say, oh my God. And we are discussing informal letter. I gave you just a salutation and two sentences. And there are 6 errors. Do you believe? 6 errors. Salutation was dear friend. You never call your friend just friend. You call him by his name. So it should be dear plus first name of your friend, not dear friend. That is register error. Then second error, you see the sentence, first sentence, I received your letter. The word received is a formal word. Instead of the formal word, you have to use an informal word in the informal letter writing. The informal word for received is got. So it should be I got your letter. And you see the third error. The sentence is in simple past. I got your letter. But there is no time reference. You have to say I got your letter this morning or last evening. The time reference is missing. That's the third error. And you can see the fourth error. I am. In informal letter writing, you have to use contractions. Instead of I am, you have to use a contraction for that. That is I'm. I'm. Then the next error, glad to know that. That's formal structure. Glad to know that. It should be glad to know. That should be dropped. Avoid the use of that. It makes the usage formal. Then the last error, sixth error, you are. Instead of you are, you should use a contraction. So there are 6 errors there. All these errors are register errors. We are discussing advanced English, where even a register error matters, it counts. So here, dear friend is a register error, I told you. Instead, you can see dear Jancy. If the friend's name is Jancy, you can use the first name, dear Jancy. Instead of I received your letter, you can say got your letter this morning. Time reference, got your letter last evening or got your letter this morning. Got is the informal word for received. Instead of I got your letter, you see got your letter. I is understood, that's why. Got your letter this morning. I'm glad to know you're coming next month. I'm glad. I'm is a contraction. Words like I'm, I'll, I'd, it's, it'll. These are all contractions. I'd means contraction for I had or I would. I had a wonderful time. I'd. I'd like to know means I would like to know. I had a wonderful time means I had a wonderful time. I'd like to know means I would like to know. So these are all contractions. In informal writing, we have to use contractions. And in formal writing, we should avoid using contractions. Here I give you another challenge, introduction challenge. Imagine you are writing an informal letter. How will you write the introduction? If this question is given to students, 90% of the students will write dear plus name, dear Nancy, or dear Jancy, or dear Tom, dear Prem, how are you? I'm fine here. Hope you're fine also. Hope you're also fine. This is a common introduction we see everywhere. Imagine you are a teacher, you are marking papers. Out of 10 papers or 9 papers, you see the same introduction. How are you? I'm fine. Hope you are fine. You'll be bored to death. So think of a different introduction. The last slide, I gave you a challenge, introduction challenge. From this slide, we discuss few of the standard introductions that can be used in informal letter writing. Here is one. Dear Prem, can see salutation. Dear Prem, the first name. I'm sorry I haven't written to you for ages, but I've been busy preparing for my board exams. This is called apology type introduction. I'm sorry I haven't written to you for ages. For ages means for a long time. I'm sorry I haven't written to you for the last few months, you can say. But the second part should be a reason. But I've been busy preparing for my board exams. So you saw one standard introduction which can be used in the informal letter writing. Sometimes we really plan to write a letter to one of our friends, and because of the busy schedule, we may not find time to do it. Here is a sample, another standard introduction. Dear Jancy, I've been meaning to write to you. That means I plan to write to you, I have plans to write to you. I've been meaning to write to you, but I'm afraid I just haven't got around to it. Or you can modify it by saying, I've been meaning to write to you, but things kept popping up and I was unable to do it, or I haven't got around to it. Imagine you got a letter and you're replying, You can say, Dear Jane, it was lovely to hear from you this morning. It was lovely. Or it was great to hear from you this morning. This is another introduction you can try. We are discussing advanced English, how to improve your writing. We started with informal letter writing. We saw the three different registers, formal, informal, and semi-formal. We saw how to write the salutation in an informal letter. We saw different samples of introductions that can be used in informal letters. Now we move on to vocabulary. Here we discuss a range of vocabulary. So you can see three words given there: silly, foolish, and stupid. This is a basic level vocabulary. Think of some words which mean the same, some better words. You pause this video here and think of some words that you can use instead of silly, foolish, or stupid. We are discussing range of vocabulary. In the previous slide, I asked you to find some words which may mean the same as silly, foolish, or stupid. Now here you see a better word, ridiculous. Ridiculous means the same as silly, foolish, or stupid. Now you pause for a while and think of a better word which means the same. We are discussing range of vocabulary. This is an attempt to improve your vocabulary. The first slide I gave you silly, foolish, and stupid, and I asked you to think of better words. Last slide you saw ridiculous. Now here you see ludicrous. Ludicrous means the same as ridiculous, silly, or foolish, or stupid. Now you pause for a while and think of a better word. Here you see a better word, preposterous. So preposterous means ludicrous or ridiculous or silly or foolish or stupid. I think now you understand what is range of vocabulary. If you're using words of this level, silly, foolish, stupid, that means your range of English, your range of vocabulary is very low. If you can use words of this level, second level, ridiculous, it's better than the first stage. And ludicrous, that's even better. And if you can use words like preposterous, stupendous, and all, so you use the higher level vocabulary. Well, here's a vocabulary challenge for you. Pause the video, write it on a paper, some words that mean great or amazing, and check your range of vocabulary. Now you check with what you wrote on your paper. Have you got these words? Magnificent, outstanding, marvelous, which mean great or amazing. Now try some more words which belong to the higher level of vocabulary. Try the words given here. Astounding means great, amazing, awe-inspiring, mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Now you think of some more words which mean the same. Here you see stupendous, which is even in the higher range than astounding or awe-inspiring or mind-boggling or mind-blowing. So you see the range of vocabulary, different range of vocabulary here. Great or amazing, then magnificent, marvelous, outstanding, then astounding or inspiring, mind-boggling or mind-blowing, and the highest level, stupendous. Hope you enjoyed the session. Look for the next part. Watch the next part without fail. Give feedback so that you get better ones. Don't forget to subscribe this video and to share it. Let it help your friends too. For any kind of guidance to learn or teach English, contact me at 974-3096-8457 or mail me at joskalyan32@gmail.com.